It's Lori from Lori's Little Bit of Crafting. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States, coming to you from Wisconsin. And it is technically Tuesday, April 15th, a little before 1 a.m. And hopefully everybody has gotten their taxes done because, sorry to remind you, but it is tax day. So make sure you get all your stuff taken care of. So tonight, I am going to put together this little kit, and I'm trying to figure out why my screen is a little distorted again. Not sure why it's doing that. Let me see if I can fix anything here. Probably not. I'll just have to figure out those settings again, because once in a while it'll work good, and then other times it looks like it's a little elongated. So anyway, this is a new kit, Loveliest Wishes Kit, and I got it today. I had ordered a bunch of cardstock, and I stocked up a little bit on my cardstock since the prices are going to increase in May. May 6th, when the new catalog releases, cardstock, designer series paper, all of those are having a price increase due to paper mill charges that are obviously going up. So I got a bunch of cardstock. I don't need it yet, but I figure I'd rather save the money than wait until I actually needed certain colors. So I stocked up. And this kit and a couple of other kits were in my order. One of them is a paper bouquet kit. If you're local to me, I'm going to be doing a get together with that paper bouquet kit. It looks really awesome. So I'm going to open my kit up and take a look and put it together so I have a sample. But I'm going to be having a class on that, so watch for information on that. The only other announcement I think I have is something that's really cool for all of my customers, in that Stamping Up, effective today, is going to be revamping the rewards program. And I haven't been talking about this much because I had, like my cardstock special that I was offering some basically free cardstock that's done. We will no longer be having any host codes, because every customer with every minimum purchase of $20 is going to receive $10 or 10% rather, Stampin' Rewards to use on your future purchases. So if you place a $20 order, you'll get a $10 credit toward a future purchase. Now you can use that on your next purchase, or you can let them build up after a year. Whatever Stampin' Rewards you have, if you have not used them, you will lose them. But if you're working toward, a larger item, or, you want to get a free stamp set and you want to build up a few of your rewards, that's going to be the way to do it. So I'm really kind of excited about it because, Stampin' Up! Decided that, after some research, more people will actually benefit from the new Stampin' Up! Program. Um, so that's pretty cool. Um, a lot of people, because the old rewards program required a larger purchase. So you had to have a workshop or a personal order of at least $150 before you got any rewards. So that meant a lot of people couldn't qualify. So now people are going to be able to qualify much sooner. So let's take a look. I look like it locked up, but now it looks like it's okay. So anyway, enough on that. If you've got questions about that reward program, I'd be more than happy to answer them. But I do think it's going to be a really nice bonus for people that want to place smaller orders. And then you can save your rewards. And another nice thing is that if I get rewards with my purchases as well, and if I don't use them, I can use my rewards as an incentive for my customers. So I can gift my rewards to some of my customers. So that's something that I'm kind of looking forward to utilizing as well. If I gift anybody rewards, those are only good for 90 days though. So you have to be a little more mindful about using all of those. So let's take a look at all of the goodies that are in this kit. This is like to take the place of a Stampin' Pierce, the piercing mat. Um, Sometimes if I'm traveling, I will just use this one. Otherwise, if I'm at home, I typically don't use them, but I do save them and use them sometimes for my classes if people are doing blending or anything. So this has got 3 cards, and we're going to take a look at some of these sentiments. But there is no block in this kit. There is no Stampin' Spot with this kit. So that means that all the stamping is already done. All right. So I don't know if we'll need that piece, but I don't want to get rid of it. So let's just kind of separate our things. Oh, look at those. So this comes in several languages. So usually French and German. I don't speak or read any of those. So I'm going to look at the English sentiments, and there are actually 3 sheets of these. So what I usually do is I punch out, if I can all at once, the English sentiments. So there's 3 of the happies. Cheers, birthday wishes, and these are all gold sentiments on there. So gold script on there. Oh, and birthday. I see birthday here. So these are all laser cut. And you will see that there just are a couple of spots where you might have a little nub where it was attached, and you can trim those off if they bother you. So I think that is it for the English. All right. So then we've got some vellum that's really pretty. So that's got some, might be Timid Tiger, I'm not sure, or Calypso Coral. Oh, these are fun. So it looks like our sentiment will probably go in the center. Excuse me. I don't know why that happens. I start talking. Maybe I don't talk enough during the day, but I start talking when I'm doing my videos, and then I have this urge to cough. It's a little tickle. So that might go something like that. Or happy. We'll have to see what the instructions say. So that's all of the vellum cutouts. Now, you could probably do some little punches with small circles if you've got a hole punch or something, but I typically don't use what's left over there. All right. So then we've got a bunch of white card bases. So it looks like I have 6 here, 2, 4, 6. And then the square one, so these cards are going to be 4.5 by 4.5. So there's 3 of those. So there's 9 cards altogether. So there's going to be 3, 3, and 3 for those different sizes. We've got envelopes that are textured. I don't know if you can see that, and they're almost kind of shimmery, but those will be cards for, or envelopes for those. And then we've got some regular size envelopes to go with the regular card size. We have some layers. So these 4x4s would appear to go with this card base. And then we have 3 of these, so that must go with that one, and maybe this one doesn't have one. And then let's take a look at these and punch these out. So that's usually what I do, is I punch out all of my elements and kind of sort them per the design. And usually we'll make one per the instructions and then, or per the picture, because a lot of times you can figure out from the picture what it's going to be. Sometimes you need a little more direction, but a lot of times they're pretty straightforward. And these daisies are pretty cool because there are some cutout elements, but you can also see that the center of the daisy is metallic. Hopefully you can see that in the video. So this is kind of just a subtle color kit with a clean white theme, I guess would be the way to take a look at it. It looks like we might have soft sea foam and then either Calypso Coral or Timid Tiger, which is a new color. So it could be Timid Tiger. I'll take a look when I get in the instructions. But the green looks like a soft sea foam to me. And you can see that this was the first I opened this kit. So we'll just see how it goes. And sometimes when you have these laser cuts, if they're larger, sometimes you can actually use them as like a mask or a stencil and use your blending brushes to make a design. So watch some of those. You might be able to use those for other projects. Okay, so then we also have some glue dots and some dimensionals and a few embellishments. All right, so put that out of the way. And let's take a look at these cards. So the first one is the square one. I'm going to move these things over. We're going to take one of these, one of the envelopes, one of the 4x4 cards. We're going to go ahead and fold that. They already come scored. So basically all you need to do is burnish that. This is going to go on here. And the instructions tell us that, let me put this under here so it the light doesn't show through. So this is telling us with our square piece, or our card base rather. So this piece here, it's telling us to fold it, okay? And then it's telling us with this piece, which is step 2, that we need some dimensionals. Now, hopefully you can see that. For those of you who have not done kits before, the dimensional has a hexagon shape there. So you know it's a dimensional because these are the same shape, okay? And like here, those are glue dots because they're just circles, okay? So that's how you know what adhesive to use. All right, so let's go ahead on the back of here. We're going to put some dimensionals, and it recommends 6. So I will do 6. So basically in each of the corners. And then kind of inset a little bit so that it's supporting the middle. And then it shows us putting that on that square base. So let's go ahead and take these backing pieces off. I guess I did get that one. Okay. All right, so we'll center this. And then the next thing is, for this piece, it's asking us or telling us to put 2 glue dots on there. So let's go ahead and put a couple of glue dots kind of in the middle, I guess. And it's having us put that over on the right side. Okay. So that can kind of go like this. And I probably should have I guess the spots kind of go like that, but I don't think it really matters. I just want to make sure my card opens the right way. So we're going to put this on here. And mine is in just a slightly different placement. I don't think it really matters that much. And then we have a birthday piece. So that's this piece here. It wants us to put 2 glue dots on there. So we will have that there. And then on the happy, it's telling us to put the mini dimensionals in 4 different places. So we'll try to follow what they're telling me to do here. I guess they've got their piece this way. Okay. So we've got one here. And usually I don't worry so much about getting them in the right spot. I just get them kind of where I want them. But depending on the layers, sometimes it does matter. So at least for your first card, it might not be a bad idea to just follow the directions. So I could use my take your pick tool, but my tweezers were right here. So that's what I'm using to take those backings off. All right. So now what it's showing us is if I take these backings off the glue dots, it shows putting it right on top of the happy. So like so. And this glue dot didn't even attach. So mine's on with just one. So maybe I should try to move this down a little bit because I kind of didn't want to cover up that Y because that's kind of pretty. I think I'm going to put just another dimensional there because since that's not attached to the happy, it's not going to be real steady. All right. And then the instructions say to just put this over here. And there's our card. And then you've got this textured, hopefully you can see the texture in there, but it almost looks like watercolor paper, like the Fluid 100 watercolor paper. And there's the first card. So then let's take a look at the second card. Oh, and I failed to mention on the back, some of the kits tell us what colors are in there. Usually they do. But it says it contains the supplies for 9 cards, 9 envelopes. We knew that. If you are a Stampin' Up! Beginner, where you've never done really any stamping and you want to know some stamping basics, if you scan this QR code, they're going to show you some of the stamping basics that are used. With the kit, if you scan this QR code, which is a quick response code, you'll get detailed instructions for this particular kit. Okay, so that if your kit comes and you haven't watched somebody else put this together, know that you do have some support from Stampin' Up! To do that. All right, so let's go on to kit or card number 2. So when these are scored, you know, when we put it through our trimmer and we put the score, there's a divot here. That's for the outside, believe it or not, because that's breaking fibers. The bump that you feel in the middle, oh, I got a glue dot stuck on me. We'll just put that right back there. We might be able to use it. The bump in the middle, which I call the mountain or the mound, that goes to the middle. All right, so that goes inside your card. And then we can go ahead and just burnish that so it lays flat. Okay, so the next direction here is to take one of these. So that's the piece here. I guess it looks like that. And it's telling us to put glue dots on the back and kind of in the middle where those foliage stems come. All right, so we got that. And then it's showing this piece here. And it's showing us to layer these. So let's take these pieces off. I think that's what it's doing. So it looks like that's on top. Yep. And then they flipped it over so we can line this up. Hopefully my head's not getting in the camera. And then it's telling us to flip this over and to put dimensionals. So we've got 2 dimensionals on here. 1 and 2. And then it's telling us the birthday wishes. This little piece, if we flip it over, we're going to put 2 glue dots on there. And then that will go on the front of our little foliage piece. That can go like this. And then this is going to go on here. And then we've got these little embellishments that it has us putting a couple on here and 1 down there. So usually 3. But I wanted to do something just a little different. As soon as I saw the picture, I'm going to get my soft sea foam ink pad. And I'm going to get a blending brush because I think I want to try to add just a little bit of color to the background. Hopefully, I won't ruin it. So let's go ahead and take this since it's here. Nope, I don't want that piece. I want the card. So I'm going to pick up some ink. Now this is a brand new brush. And it looks like my ink pad might need some re-inking. But this should be pretty subtle. And we know this is going to be in the middle. So I'm just going to kind of start in the middle. And I'm going to add just some green to my background. Because to me, that's a lot of white. But for the kit, that's what Stampin' Up! Intended. So I don't know if you can even see that because this is such a light color. I am gradually just adding some ink. And I like to go gradual and I like to use circular motions because that just keeps the ink manageable. And you can tell when it's getting too dark and it usually does not get blotchy. All right. So that is just super subtle. I like that. I'm going to take a little bit more out to the edges. So it's easy with these cards and with the kits to just make a minor addition or change, and the card suddenly becomes something more your style. So hopefully you can see that. And it made enough of a difference to me that I really like that. All right. So I'm going to cover up my ink so I don't get an inky mess somewhere. We'll take these backs off these dimensionals. We'll put this on here. Oh, I kind of like it off to the side even. It doesn't take much just to make it a little different. Now with these embellishments, I like to use my Take Your Pick tool and I push my embellishment off the side of the plastic that it's on, the little acetate. And I know that's not where they had theirs. So they had 2 up here and 1 down here. I kind of like mine that way. And it looks like I might have had my piece. Oh, see, that's what I did. I flipped over my piece thinking these glue dots needed to be on the back, but they were actually putting them on the front so that this piece would go right on top of there. Doesn't matter. All right, again, it's mine. It's my card. I can do what I want, right? We'll just bring some of those pieces out to the front and it'll be good. So pretty much the same layout. Nobody else would ever know that I had that going the wrong way. Doesn't matter. All right, and then we have an envelope, and there's card number 2. I really like that. I don't think the pictures on the kit do the card justice. I really don't. So let's take a look at the last card. This out of the way. Look at our instructions. So again, we're going to have a card base, scored. So this is just an 8.5 by 11. I score mine first, so that's at 4 1/4. Cut it at 5 1/2. But the kit, they come all ready to go. You don't have to do any of that. So to complete a trimmer or a kit, you don't need a trimmer. I a lot of times will take kits when I'm traveling, because that works really well for me to not have to take all kinds of supplies. So then I'm going to, these are the other pieces in here. I'm going to take this piece, and it's telling me to put it on dimensionals. So let's get those dimensionals. And again, we're going to go with 6. Each of the corners, kind of in the middle. And this is not an exact science. And you can use the regular size dimensionals if you want. The ones that came with the kit are mini dimensionals. I personally prefer the mini dimensionals just because they're cut smaller, so you get more on a sheet. And they just seem to go further for me. Seems like I can make more projects. So the instructions are telling me to just center this on here. So I guess I won't be doing any blending brushes on that because I've already stuck it on here. But then the next thing is to take 2 of these. And again, we have 6 altogether because there's 3 cards that use this design. And then we're taking the cheers. And on all 3 of those, we're putting 2 dimensionals on the back. So let's go ahead and do that. And those can just be kind of randomly placed. It's fine. It's not like they have to be all the way to the edge or exactly in the middle. All right, and then those are going to go on the card with the cheers in the middle. So I'm going to put that on first. And then these are just going to kind of be offset for contrast. Now I see a little nub on there, and I know that's going to bother me a little bit. You may not even be able to see it on the camera, but that's from where the laser cut didn't go all the way through. Okay, that works for me. And then this piece is going to go over here somewhere. And then we're going to go with the daisy. Now the daisy, you might not notice it, but there is a dimensional in the center of the daisy and then a glue dot on the leaf, because the leaf is going to end up being on, probably on there. Okay, yeah. So we're going to put the glue dot on the leaf and a dimensional in the center, which is why they gave us the mini dimensionals, because our full-size dimensional would not fit in there. Oops. All right, and then this. Now with the dimensional, you want to make sure that you don't put it on top of that piece that already has a dimensional under it. And that's not exactly where I want it placed. Let's see if I can lift that off of here gently, because the glue dot on my leaf I want here. So there we go. And then that does not show any gems. So these gems are for the other two cards. All right. But if you wanted some gems, you could certainly put some gems that you already have on hand. So I don't like those. Those are ivory. Let's see what else I might have. So I have these basic pearls. Let's look at peach pie even. That might be a nice subtle color if I get my alcohol blends, my Stampin' blends. Let's take this out and let's color a couple of these and see how that looks. I think that'll look very nice. So again, just a little modification makes it yours, right? And I guess we don't need that tissue, but you could save it for a small gift or a gift card to wrap it. And let's see, I think we'll put those over there and one up here. And just those little embellishments make a big difference too, you know? So let's get these out of the way so I don't lose them. And I will probably keep those out so that when I do the other two cards, I have them handy. So there's 3 of our cards. And again, we'll grab another envelope because we get an envelope for every card. And then we have our pieces to make the last 2 of each design. So here's the 3rd card. Here's the 2nd card. And here's the 1st card. So those I think are really, they're much prettier to me than what shows on the picture. And I'll show you the picture again. But how much prettier are those in person than they are in the picture? And here I just did a little, whoops, that's the wrong one. The one that's in the middle. I'm like, that doesn't look the same. So that shows with my extra embellishments on there. Just adds a little something to my eye. And then this one, we've got the green blending brush technique in there. So for this one, as a reminder, when you go to color any kind of embellishments like the pearls or rhinestones, you always want to make sure that you use a Stampin' Blends because these are alcohol markers. The color will adhere to the finish on any of those embellishments and it dries because it's alcohol. If you use a regular marker, it won't dry and you'll get smudges and you'll wipe it off if you touch it. Now these I can touch and it's not going anywhere because the alcohol has dried and it goes into that finish. So there's our 3 cards with this kit and I'm kind of looking forward to doing the rest of these and maybe changing something else up. You just never know. All right. So let me know what you think. This kit, by the way, is only $14. So for you get 9 cards. Everything that you need to make the cards as pictured is in the package. And it's only $14 because there's no stamp set, there's no Stampin' Spot. So that makes it less expensive. So the non-stamping kits are usually probably under $15, I would say, depending on how much is in them. So that's all I'm going to do with you tonight, just one of each. Hopefully that didn't take too much time out of your day. If you like this project, if you like the video, I appreciate it if you give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you've not already subscribed. I like to see new subscribers every day coming to my page, my channel. And feel free to share the video too if you've got somebody who you think might be interested, a friend that you might want to stamp with. You know, buy a couple of kits and get together because it's more fun when you stamp with other people. If you're local to me, watch my website. I list the classes that I'm having. I have regular classes. So um, one Monday a month, we just have open studio time. Another day, we have a get together. I have another group that I do on the second Thursday of every month um, in a different municipality where I go to them and it's a bunch of senior ladies, and we just have a great time um, making projects. Yeah, and sometimes I just spur of the moment have other groups that want to come in, and we do classes. I had a group yesterday, and that was not a public class; it's just for their group. So I do that as well. So that's what I've got for you. Um, if you want to shop with me, LoriMacari.stampinup.net. I would love to be your demonstrator if you don't already have a demonstrator. And until next time, happy stamping.